an interview with Chris Bearer of the C Major Project, who will be hosting an organ concert this Friday night at 7 p.m. at Shrine of the True Cross Church in Dickinson, Texas. Okay, so if you will, start us off and tell us the sort of the origins that, of your music and how it's playing into the concert coming up this Friday.
Well, last year, I'm a composer, and I wrote a large-scale work for orchestra and choir called Requiem for the Unborn, which we did premiere here in the Houston area. And that sort of kicked off this idea that my wife and I had to start a nonprofit to continue to write new music to benefit other music ensembles that may want to perform it, or other nonprofit organizations that want to commission new works to be done. And we try to help raise money to serve those organizations while also providing new music as well. And so we're doing a series of organ recitals to help earn some more fundraising revenue for our organization, because we're traveling to Washington, D.C. this summer, and we've got a new piece that we're writing for an event up there. And so that's sort of where the origins of these organ recitals came from.
Okay. So how many have you done so far? Is this the first one, or have you done other ones?
No, this is our third, and so far we've only had 3 scheduled, so this is our last one, but we may be reaching out to some other churches here to try to do some more, because it's been a fun thing to do. But we did want to, I'm the music director at St. Thomas More in Houston.
Okay.
So we did one there at my parish. And then we just did one last week in College Station at St. Thomas Aquinas, because I used to be the director there, so I still know people there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I know Father Rick at the Shrine of the True Cross, so I reached out to him to see if he'd be interested in hosting one, and that's how this one came about.
Okay. So how long have you been, I guess, working in the music industry? It sounds like you're doing music for churches. Is that your I guess, full-time vocation where you're like a music director?
Yes. I've been doing it for over 20 years now in some form or another at different churches.
Huh. Okay.
I have a music degree, undergraduate and graduate, in choral music and sacred music.
Okay. And so the project itself, flesh that out a little bit more for me. So is the idea to I guess, have funds to be able to record extra works, or is it designed to, I guess, maybe teach other people how to do this as an educational component, or talk about that?
Well, we're still kind of developing the idea. We have lots of different avenues we've been playing with, but the main idea was to be able to write new music and get it performed and help as much as we can with the ensembles along the way. So, for instance, say there's a church that's celebrating its 50th anniversary as a church,
okay,
or the building of the church or whatever, and they want to commemorate that event in one of their liturgies or in a concert or whatever it is, then they could seek us out. We would write a new piece to commemorate that event, which is not a new idea. People, commission new works all the time for events to honor an event or a person, a couple celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary, or a couple that's getting married for the first time, or whatever. And then we would write them a new piece of music, and it wouldn't cost them anything, which, of course, normally music commissions can cost upwards of thousands of dollars,
sure,
depending on what the music is. But we wouldn't charge them anything. We would just seek donations on their behalf. They could, send out notices to their benefactors, their family, their friends, whatever, and then we would write the new music and give back any proceeds that we've raised on their behalf to them directly or to a nonprofit of their choice, something that's near and dear to their hearts.
Okay. All right. And so focusing on the event this coming Friday in Dickinson, so what might people expect if they've never been to one of your concerts before?
Well, it's very informal. I'm just going to play a couple of organ works, and I'll talk a little bit about the music. We'll talk about our project, the C Major Project, and what we're specifically raising money for now, which is our Washington, D.C. project. I've actually just completed the music on that, So we're getting ready to record a demo just so people can kind of hear it. I don't know if it'll be ready by Friday, but we're working towards that. I am going to have a couple of vocalists join us, so there'll be some vocal selections as well. It's all sacred music.
Okay. Would that be...
So, and there'll be at least a couple of pieces that are original that the C Major Project has done, so people can hear works that we're doing.
Okay. Now, when you say sacred music, for people who may not be familiar with what that is, explain that. Is that kind of like the sort of, what do they call that? Like high church music, like Latin type stuff? Those kind of...
Yeah, you can think of it that way. The way I think of it is it could be liturgical music, which would be music specifically for an actual church liturgy. But sacred music could also be music that may be a concert-style music, but it has a text that is scriptural or religious in some form.
Okay.
But yes, it's more like you said, that high church music and not praise and worship style popular sounding music.
Is it in English or is it in Latin?
We are doing things, a lot of the organ works, of course, have no language,
right.
But the vocal works we're doing, we are doing at least mostly Latin.
Okay. If people want to, learn more about your organization, and obviously I'm going to run a lot of the information off the flyer with the little story I'm writing, but information about the event, the organization, or getting involved, what's the best way for them to reach out and get information on that?
Well, they can visit our website for sure. That's probably the best way, because there they can communicate via email with us by filling out a form. Mm-hmm. But they can learn more about it there, and they can visit our YouTube channel, which they can access through the website, and I can give you that website.
Okay.
It's thecmajorproject.org.
Okay. All right. And I guess lastly, what goes into making these compositions? I mean, I know it's not an easy thing to do, and we're used to maybe compositions for soundtracks to themes to movies and stuff. I mean, I'm sure it's the same thing, right? It's just you're composing a piece that yours is played in a church setting, where maybe theirs is played in on a big screen. What goes into it?
Yeah, well, it's a creative process. The first thing, if it's even if it's not a specifically vocal work, I'll have an idea with a text or a theme, and of course the commissioning person or organization, I would meet with them about that. Like, do they want a specific text from the Bible set? Do they want, or a poem, or whatever it might be? I'll work with them on what music, what text we're going to use as a starting off point, and I'll sit with it. I'll play through things on the piano, and I'll write.
Okay. And are there any tickets? Is the event ticketed, or is it donations at the door, or how's that set up?
Yeah, the event is completely free. It's just an offering as people come in or as people leave after the event. We're not going to pass a basket or anything. It'll just be something at the entrance for coming in or going out.
Okay. So it sounds like, obviously, there's a lot of work that goes into the compositions, putting performances together, reaching out, doing PR, etc. But there's obviously an enjoyment aspect of this, or you wouldn't do it. What do you like about this the most? I mean, what really brings you a lot of joy in the process?
Well, I like composing, and I like bringing new music out, and I get to also then perform with my wife, Mary. So, and we just enjoy trying to bring new music to the community, to other churches, and being able to help out as best we can using our musical gifts for others.